Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Gwinnett Business Radio.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to Gwinnett Business Radio, broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in the beautiful Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. Mike Salmon alongside Stephen Julian. How are you, Stephen?
I am doing fabulously well. Mike, how are you?
I'm good. Asif Jessani is here with CCS, Marketing and Technology, and Stephen Williams, and this is Stephen with a PH, not a Stephen with a V like you, Stephen. Stephen Williams with 400 Pressure Wash is in the house.
We're different, but I welcome him into the studio.
Yes.
Asif Jessani
with CCS Marketing and Technology.
No worries.
But welcome to the program. Tell
Thank
us all
you.
about your company.
Sure. So we started our company back in 2005, and the CCS stands for Complete Computer Solutions, but we just go by the acronym at the moment. And what we take on the role of either Chief Technology Officer or Chief Marketing Officer for small and medium-sized organizations that may not have full-time staff to help with those roles. And so we'll take on that contract position, and we really enjoy working with nonprofits and small businesses because we feel like our experiences are in line with what their experiences are, and so we're able to make them as efficient as possible in those arenas.
You said we. Is there a we?
Sure. Yeah. So my brother and I started the company back in 2005, and we partner up with other small contractors or free agents, I would say, in the sports world to kind of bring in the resources that we need to make things happen for our clients. And in the we includes our partnerships with organizations like Microsoft, Google, GoDaddy, so that way we can provide the services that our clients need. And with various organizations that we partner with as resellers or business partners, we have all of their resources available to us as well that we can then share with our clients.
When you hear chief technology and chief marketing, a lot of times those two things aren't necessary. In my mind, my first thought was those don't necessarily go together, but they kind of, you obviously do put them together. And I guess my first question is, with the businesses you work with, do they approach you about both, or do they normally approach you about one first, and then you find that you can help them with the other?
So what's interesting about our business is while we are focused on marketing on the web, most of our relationships are based on people we know, as well as people we volunteer with, people we have that we team up with on different projects. And what we've realized is as we get to know their business, we're able to kind of look at, okay, what are you doing today in terms of IT communications or just communications with your inside staff? Say, for example, email. Are you able to sync all of your emails on all of your devices? Is your website up to date? Are your staff able to save all their items to the cloud? So when we start having those conversations, we then start to look at what is it that you're doing from an IT standpoint? What are you doing from a communication standpoint? And then we kind of look at what are you doing for your clients? And then we kind of combine all of those resources together to make their lives much easier and more efficient.
Do you find that a lot of your clients is a kind of a one-off, they use you one time, then that's it? Or do many of your clients kind of pay a retainer and just keep you on staff all along?
So we have a mix. Most of our clients we've had relationships with over 10 years. And what's happened over the last 4 years is within our marketing services, we've added promotional products as a service. And so what that means is anything branded you may need, whether it's your shirts, your mugs, and such, the organizations that we were working with on a digital platform have now also started to purchase items from us for their projects, for their clients, for their community outreach. And so that has balanced out all of our services. So for those clients where we only had one-off type projects, now it's the promotional products or the branded items have taken on and streamlined our business process as a whole and brought those clients to be more residual versus just one-time type projects.
So I'm going to play a business owner. I do own a small business myself, and so I would ask you, what does your company do best?
Sure. So what we do best is really getting to know what your business is about and then figuring out what solutions we can recommend. If you, for example, have a podcast and your website is not up to date, then that's the first thing we would look at is how are people reaching you? How are people finding you? How are people actually using your services? So that would be the first thing. So the first platform would be actually, before we even get to your clients, we would look at your internal business process. are you using other contractors? How are you saving your data? How are you sharing all of your content with your internal staff? Then we look at how are you managing your information throughout the process in terms of internally. Then we look at how are you connecting with your clients. If you're connecting with your clients face-to-face, what's their experience like? If you're connecting with your clients over web meetings, what's their experience like? So really looking at the internal and external operations of your business. But first focus internally and then going externally.
And as I listen to that, it sounds to me that your sweet spot could be really anybody. Do you have a sweet spot, or smaller companies, larger companies? Who do you prefer to work with?
So we have a balance of both small and large. In the smaller organizations, we'll take on a more hands-on approach and more strategic role in terms of A to Z and helping them with all of their business processes. With the larger clients, we become subcontractors to some of the larger firms that may have a contract already in place. So it's a balance of where the need is of the business and where the need is, or what's the skill set that we have. But our sweet spot is really working with organizations whose mission that we feel very aligned with. And those tend to be educational clients, your government clients. We work very closely with Gwinnett County Community Outreach and nonprofits, because that's kind of where my heart is. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of experience in the early childhood realm, so that's where I kind of gravitate towards. But as projects come and as we meet different people, and if our missions align, it's much easier to know that if we can be a trusted advisor, that's where we have the most bang for our buck.
We're speaking with Asif Jessani. He is the head of CCS Marketing Technology. They do outsourcing of kind of the chief technology officer, chief marketing officer. And we were talking off the air before coming on the air that a lot of business owners might hear that and think, technology, marketing, how do those two go together? You guys were kind of a technology company first.
Sure.
How did the marketing strategies that you guys follow, how did that grow in your business over the years?
So there's two things. When we started the company back in 2005, we were strictly a computer repair shop. So people would bring in their computers, we would fix them, and the next day they would get them picked up. Or we would go on site, move the viruses, and then have them be up and running. What we realized over time was my brother and I were never in the office. We were always at client sites and helping them with their projects and planning. So we've become a fully virtual organization. And when where all of this merged was, there were two things. One was when I was getting married, I created our wedding website. And I'm going, okay, if I can do this for myself, I can do this for my clients. So we started our virtual or marketing and services. The other was going back to nonprofits and volunteer projects. For our community, I started to help with the sports tournaments and marketing the sports tournament to the people that weren't at the sport tournament itself. So we were using Facebook, we were using Instagram when it came live, we were using Twitter to make ensure that people that weren't at the events felt like they were at the events, whether it was with photos, videos, interviews, and those two experiences kind of helped us formalize our marketing services. So we used real life experiences and converted them into a revenue generating service.
And I would imagine you guys come at marketing a little bit different because of your technological background. You're not that there is no sizzle, but it's more about the infrastructure of the tech. I mean, it's their marketing efforts kind of grow out of the technological infrastructure that you've helped create.
Sure, and it's very, very focused on the business process of things. It's not focused on, okay, let me give you the best looking website in the world that's very flashy and jazzy, but it's really focused on what is your business process? What is the process when I go to your website? Will I find the information I need, or will I have to use a search box to find it? If I need information from you as a client, am I using the tools that we've set up to make your business process easier, or are we just trying to make sure that you're the best looking site? So that's kind of the difference, where we really try to understand where your needs are versus just telling you what our recommendations are. So first we have to listen to you. We have to get a feel for what your strategy is, what your current culture is in your organization, because there are organizations we work with that don't want everything online because they want full control. So they don't necessarily want to move everything to the cloud with either Office 365 or with Google. They want to keep it in-house, and that's their sweet spot. But our recommendation is make sure you have it all backed up. If not in one place, if not in two places, at least 3 places. And so we'll really look at your business process and your comfort level and then help you kind of move along that way.
One of the things that I hear you say that I really enjoy hearing is that you can have the best website, but what good does it do if nobody knows it's there?
Right. And it's all about engagement. It's all about making sure that it's easy and it's made to be easy. We did a conversation for a few nonprofits last week or the week before, and the whole conversation was about technology is made to be easy. If I can teach my dad how to use Facebook, I think we can get everyone aligned with the fact that things are made to be easy. All of these tools that are out there now, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, all of these tools are made to make your life easier, although there are some nuances which you can learn through. So
you said did your dad learn how to use Facebook? With your help?
He I would say is definitely an influencer in the community.
Oh.
He posts more on Facebook and gets more likes and more interactions than I ever do. So
wow.
He's awesome.
Created a beast.
The student has become the master.
Yeah.
Asif, I'd like to ask, you've mentioned now a couple times in the interview, so it's time to jump on it. Giving back to the community and kind of aligning principles. Obviously, that's something that's very important. It comes through in your regular work, but talk about what your company does in order to give back to the community where you're at.
Sure. So there's multiple things. One is one of the things I personally do is I'm on multiple boards or have been on multiple boards over time. Most recently, I was on the Gwinnett Habitat for Humanity board for 5 years, so we're really helped with the marketing efforts there and using tools and resources in that arena. Currently, I just started on Artworks Gwinnett board, so the goal is to really get an arts master plan in Gwinnett and assist with that process. And I'm also on the Gwinnett Library Foundation board, and our goal there is to raise money beyond the taxpayers to see what services, additional value-added services we can provide the county from that standpoint. So I do a lot of work individually, and that kind of, because as an owner of the company or a partner in the company, you kind of, that becomes your baby. So our volunteer work happens a lot during the workday, and so we try our best to give back as much as possible from a HR perspective. And then in terms of items we give away in terms of reduced pricing, a lot of times we're not at a point where we can just give things away from a sponsorship, but we hope to get there. But that's what we also do, is to make sure that the pricing is right, as well as, especially with nonprofits, if they don't necessarily have a graphic designer or a marketing person, we'll take on that role and really not bill for it. So
I think you'll find, I love hearing that the more you give, the more you receive, especially the longer you've been in business. And obviously you're in a very competitive field, very competitive. How are you growing the business? How are you finding new business?
Sure, and it's and you kind of hit it on the nail. And if I were to ever write a book, it would be the ROI of service is priceless, because whatever we have today, whether it's our business contacts, whether it's any new projects that have come across the board, it's 100% related to our relationships with the organizations that we've been working with all of our lives. I can't underscore, giving back to the community comes back 100-fold, if not 1,000-fold. And it's not just in business, it's also in my family. Like I was saying, my dad's majorly involved on Facebook, but he's also very involved in the community. So he volunteers probably more than I ever do. My daughter, who's 5 years old, is so engaged in the community, or is so independent, is because of the community that she's around. So giving back and volunteering, as well as seeing different parts of your life kind of come together through service, has been priceless in our family.
Congratulations on all your success and all the growth and all the the pivoting and marketing and changing you've had to do over the years, because of the technology's changing every single day, and you added the marketing, and you've been able to pivot and move and pivot some more.
You're trying too hard.
Yes,
you had it on the first one, but
Great.
You tried too hard.
For those that would like to look into your services, where can they find out more about CCS Marketing and Technology?
Sure, it's the website is ccsatlanta.com. And one of the things that when you do go on that site, there's a little button that says resources or COVID-19 assistance. Click on that, especially for nonprofits. There are lots of resources that are always going to be available, that are discounts from various partners that we have, including free trials as well as free services for organizations that need it, especially at this time.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Asif Jessani with CCS Marketing Technology here on Business Radio X.
Gwinnett Business Radio is proud to come to you from the Subaru of Gwinnett Studios, and love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Get big savings and enjoy the hassle-free experience at Subaru of Gwinnett, where people sell cars. Visit SubaruofGwinnett.com and join their family today. You can come in and see the difference. They have ways for you to come in and still follow procedures and guidelines around this whole COVID-19 stuff. Maybe you're already a Subaruist, then you can follow Subaru of Gwinnett's Facebook page. You can also come in and get your car serviced at Subaru of Gwinnett. So many different ways. Just let Subaru of Gwinnett show you what they're all about.
Absolutely. Our next guest, Stephen, is Stephen Williams with 400 Pressure Wash. Stephen, welcome to the program.
How are you?
Good. Tell us all. You're the CEO and the owner of
Yes, sir.
400 Pressure Wash, and you're based up in Cumming.
We are.
But you serve the Gwinnett County area.
Yes,
sir. Highway 400, is that part of the reason for the name?
So starting out, I got a business partner, Tim. He's actually with our team out washing right now, and I'm over here representing the company.
Who got the better end of that deal?
We're 50-50.
Okay.
We're buds. It's
But
been
today, as far as doing a job or being here, who's got the better end?
He'd rather be out in the field.
Okay.
He would not want to be here right now.
It's the kind of partner you want.
Yeah. But so we started out just wanting to target George 400. Dahlonega all the way down to Buckhead, maybe kind of somewhere out in between. But Metro Atlanta is a big place, and it needs to be cleaned. I mean, people need their commercial buildings clean, windows clean, residential properties, and you got a lot of real estate over here. So
Yep.
we got to take care of you.
So you kept the name 400 Pressure Wash, even though it could be 400, 85, 75, 316,
Pretty much.
20.
Yep.
Yeah. So name your favorite
I always
road.
joke because we talked about doing work in Florida. And I'm like, we need to change it to I-75 pressure wash or I-95 pressure wash.
Maybe just not put geography in the name at all.
Yeah,
Wherever
well,
you need pressure washing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how long
So-
have you been in business, and how did you get into the pressure washing business?
So I come from the hardware industry. I worked with Ace Hardware Corporate for a number of years. And, being in the corporate setting, I also have an MBA like Asif. Coming from a business background, I just got burnt out. I was like, I got to do something different. And I saw just the need for the cleaning industry. The really neat thing about pressure washing is it's a lot easier if you have the tools to do it, and it's a really incredible process. I just fell in love with it. The chemicals, I just fell in love with it, and so I left my job, started working for some of my contractors. Then after about, a year, I met Tim, and me and Tim partnered up and been together ever since.
It's one of those jobs. In a past life, I used to do some maintenance work and landscaping, and there's something about working hard for 4 or 5 hours and then being able to immediately see the results, right?
Exactly.
And speaking of that, one of the taglines I think from your website is results you can see, experience you can trust.
Yep, that's correct.
So what? Talk to the person who might need your services. I'm thinking, and you can go down the residential road, you can go down the commercial road. What are they not seeing that you would see as a pressure washer? Oh man, you need my services.
Well, whether a business owner, there's guys we work for that have millions and millions of dollars in real estate. Then we have your regular homeowner with a 2,000
and
square
then you
foot
have
house.
Stephen and myself.
Yeah,
right.
You walk outside and you see it every day. And even though there's green on your house or your windows are dirty, heck, it could look clean. No green on your house. We will come in. We will soft wash your house. It'll whiten your gutters. It'll whiten the trim around your windows. It'll clean your windows, touchless clean your windows without a squeegee, and basically restore the curb appeal on your property. Every single time, it looks incredible.
And if I'm a residential homeowner, I think everybody's got that. Oh yeah, that's what you do on the driveway, but it really is the entire house. It's all over. It's as much or as little as you want.
We do roofs. It's got black streaks on the roof. People don't realize this. Roofers will come in and they will sell you a new roof, and after 4 to 5 years, the black streaks will get on it. Manufacturers will say, "Well, if that happens, we'll replace your roof after 4 or 5 years." But what people don't realize, and what the roofers don't educate people on, is the manufacturers pay people like us to come in and clean the roofs. You don't have to replace the roof. because the manufacturer will cover the cost of the roof, but then the homeowner will have to pay the roofer. So there's other ways. Pressure washing saves people a lot of money and effort and heartache too.
Did you use the term soft wash earlier?
Wash.
What's
Yep.
the difference between a soft wash and a pressure wash?
So a pressure wash is high pressure, like concrete. You don't want to use high pressure on siding
or your windows.
Yeah, or you'll blow out the seals in the windows. You'll ruin the siding. When I'm talking about soft washing, it's a very low chemical application with a very low pressure rinse. And then, on decks, you want to do low to medium pressure. You don't just get out there with 4,000 PSI. Even on concrete, we run anywhere from 1,800 PSI to 2,800 PSI on concrete. We don't use really, really, really high pressure. Because once you start using 4,000 PSI, you start digging into concrete and destroying concrete. So, there's pressure in everything you do, but it can be anywhere from, when you're cleaning a roof, it's like 65 PSI, and then cleaning concrete, it's 2,000 PSI. So,
What's the person who's listening who goes, well, I was thinking about buying my own little pressure wash thing from Insert,
or renting from
store.
Ace Hardware.
It's people go to Home Depot and you can rent a pressure washer for $100.
Right.
I'm gonna do it myself. It's gonna be relaxing. And then they get there and they're like, "Man,
it's not relaxing."
Wait, I say I've done that before,
I've
but
never had any.
Relaxing is not a word I've
No.
used.
So when if it's a 1,300 square foot house, you could hire us for $200. We'll come knock it out.
Wow.
Or do your house and driveway from anywhere. Depends on how big your house is.
Sure.
Or what kind of property you got. It's very affordable and it saves you the headache.
So the average person with the average size house, I mean, if you said, that square footage you talked about, I mean, the average house is about 2,500, 3,000 square, a decent sized house, you're going to be well under, you're not going to be spending that much. I mean, it's around $400, $500, that kind of thing, to really get a great job. I mean, so why? Yeah, I don't know why I would do the work.
And
That's worth my money.
Whenever you pull in your neighborhood, what's the first thing you want to see?
Beautiful house.
You don't want to see a dirty neighborhood, and if it costs you a couple $100 or $400 or $500 for it to last a year or two, I mean, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to kill yourself doing it.
So let's talk about this question too, and this really is for residential as well as commercial, because obviously you guys do commercial buildings. We're speaking with Stephen Williams. He's the CEO and owner of 400 Pressure Wash. What about people who say, well, yeah, you're doing all that cleaning, but what about my plant bed? What about the landscaping around my building?
Yep.
How do you got what are some of the tricks of the trade? What are you going to tell people to protect that?
So a lot of people have this idea that bleach is bad. It's like it's going to harm.
Well, I know I'm not supposed to put it inside my body and put an IV in it, right?
Yeah, the CDC's pressure washing companies are working with the CDC in Atlanta to kill the coronaviruses on exterior surfaces, but bleach is quote unquote bad. We use a bleach solution, let's just say on a house or building. Normally the ratio, it's either 10 gallons of water to 1 gallon of bleach or 20 gallons of water to 1 gallon of bleach, depending upon how strong you want it. So it's really not that much bleach. So basically what you do is whenever you have the landscape and everything, you want to water everything. You want to water it before, during, and after. And it fills up the roots with water. So whenever you start spraying the chemical everywhere, it acts as a protectant. You know what I mean? And then if you're doing roof cleaning, there's certain things you got to do to reroute the gutters and stuff to keep the chemical from going away from the vegetation. Just trying to do everything you can to protect the plants and the vegetation. But again, there's definitely ways of doing it, and we've never had any issues doing it because we have a before, during, and after process, and we do that every single time. And a lot of our competitors, don't.
They just show up and start spraying.
Yep, start spraying, or got Joe in the back of a truck. Unfortunately, that's how it is in our industry.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 400 corridor, or you mentioned Gwinnett County. Let's talk about your whole range of area. I mean, are you serving the south side of Atlanta? How big is your range as far as where you'll serve?
It all depends, I think, on just being a business. If we got a really good job in Alabama, we'll go to Alabama. We did some work in Fayetteville about 2 weeks ago. We do a lot of stuff in Peachtree City. We do a lot in North Georgia mountains, Hiwassee, Chatsworth, Dahlonega, Canton, wherever.
So give you a call, and you pretty much can
Yep.
go anywhere.
So one tagline is results you can see, experience you can trust. Maybe you should add have great equipment, will travel. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know.
And turnaround time, how quickly can people get you out there?
We can get you a quote in about 10 minutes. We do everything via satellite. You know, we got the tools and measurements to do it.
Wow.
So, and I'm talking even on commercial. A lot of times I can just pull it up, or my office manager will pull it up.
And if you got a quote, is that a firm quote or
It's over the phone.
Okay. And
Yep.
but my point is, if you give that quote over the phone, you guys are going to stand by that number.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
I do have a little disclaimer. You know, sometimes
Well, if someone shows up and goes, "Oh, there's this other building in the back I want
Yep.
you to do,"
Yep.
so
you know, sometimes it's not 100%, but about 99% of the time, it's correct. So.
And if they're they say they live in a little bungalow, and you go there and it's a big old mansion.
Oh,
it might be a little different.
that's happened. Believe it or not,
I'm sure
Yep,
it's happened.
Well, wait a minute. So you said you got the satellite, so they
Yep.
give you the wrong address over the phone? Or?
So
I'd love to hear that story.
So you know, there's a house in Forsyth County. I won't say any names.
Yeah. You don't need to. Yeah.
It was at one time, I'm thinking it was like 2,500 square foot.
Yeah.
So they did they built a house for their in-laws over here. Then they did all these additions, and it ended up being like 5,500 square foot. And they're like, yeah, you're going to watch this and the breezeway to the pool, you know, and the screen and porch. I'm like, I just quoted you for a 2,500 square foot house. I didn't quote you for 8,000
All of this other
square
stuff,
feet,
yeah.
you know.
Did you get it worked out?
No. We had to leave.
Well, that's why you don't give
Yeah.
the name.
That's right.
You figure of all people that are going to try to skimp on money, these people got this big old,
Yep.
mansion here.
So
I understand social media. We want to do hashtag wash on.
wash on.
Wash on. Hashtag wash on.
And
for
hashtag 400
pressure wash.
PW.
400 PW.
But my question too is also as far as turnaround time. If I need you quickly, you can get out there.
It all depends. Right now we're 2 to 3 weeks out.
Okay.
We're trying to put together another
fair.
crew if we stay that booked out. But we've been able to fit, a driveway cleaning in, a house wash in, sidewalks for a restaurant customer.
For a
stuff like that.
2,500 square foot house, a driveway house done. I mean, how long would that take?
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
Man, they're good.
You're efficient.
Yeah.
For those, Stephen, that would like to look into your services and give you a call and check you out, how should they do that? What's the best way?
You can contact my office at 404-932-9230. Find us on Facebook, 400 Pressure Wash. We'll pop right up. Instagram, LinkedIn, and our website. It's ga400pw.com.
And do you have those cool before and after photos on your website?
We got every single one you can find.
Not only that, our producer, Amanda, was telling us off air that if you search for 400 Pressure Wash, somewhere there's a cool little aerial video
Yep.
kind of talking about your services. So they're getting into movies too, apparently.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Stephen,
I'm going to be the new Tyler Perry.
Well, I'd love you to pressure wash his studios.
I tried doing that big old mansion he used to have, but
He picked somebody else.
yeah.
he was the guy that was trying to.
No,
Bring
wasn't
down the
him.
price.
No.
All right, Stephen, congratulations on your success and keep up the great
Appreciate
work.
it. Yep.
And we'll see you at my house soon and at Stephen's house soon.
Yeah.
And
You bet.
get that pressure washing done that you keep putting off, Stephen.
I have been putting it off. I need to get it taken care of. Even my teenage boys won't do it.
Stephen Williams with 400 Pressure Wash here on Gwinnett Business Radio. Also want to thank Asif Jessani with CCS Marketing and Technology. Any final words?
I think we
That was
covered.
it?
The final word is Asif Jessani.
See, when you're in a
that's all.
lockdown and you only do like one house show every 2 months,
You get out of practice.
You get out of the flow.
We're a little rusty.
out of the flow.
Pressure
wash.
Hashtag out
It
of
is
the
about
flow.
flow, though. Wash on.
There you go. Hashtag wash on. We are so lucky and blessed to have two great guests who are so gracious and humble, suffering
thank
through
you.
this debacle of a show that you and I put together today.
So let's
Not their
pivot.
fault. It's yes, we need to pivot to do a better show next time.
They saved us.
Yeah, they did. They were great. The guests were fantastic. The host,
Not so much. All right. Remember to follow us on social media at Gwinnett Radio X. Also, all our shows are available through all your favorite podcast apps, iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, Stitcher, Spreaker. I could go on and on.
Well, actually, don't we have a contest that if they find we dare people to find a podcasting platform that we're not on? Because if they do find it, the prize
the prize is that
we'll
your
get
house will
ourselves-
be pressure washed and you'll
we'll
pay for it.
We'll get ourselves we'll pay for it. We'll get ourselves put on that podcasting platform.
Okay,
Isn't that a great prize?
Well, sounds good to me.
Sure, great, wonderful.
Until next
fantastic.
time, for our producer Amanda, thank you, Amanda. I'm Mike. He's Steven. We'll see you next time here on Gwinnett Business Radio.
Pivot.